Hello and welcome back to another video. Southampton just beat Liverpool, which means if we beat Burnley, we go 3 points clear at the top of the Premier League, which is madness. We are in the semi-final of a cup, which just so happens to be a Manchester derby. Now, if we win 2 more games, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets his first piece of silverware for Manchester United, which is huge. I know historically as a team, we sort of look at the Arsenal's winning cups and sort of they'll be excited about doing that, and that'll kind of be all their season sort of mounted up to be. But I feel like for us, it's not just a case of winning the cup, it's more than that. If we win this cup, it's the confidence. The players will be in a final. Like, we play this game today, and I think the final's in April. And that amount of time knowing that you as a player are going to be going and playing a cup final and potentially winning a piece of silverware, the confidence and the motivation that must give the team is huge, and it'll benefit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer so much. So we're improving and nobody can deny that, but I think something else that people are kind of missing is that City are improving as well, but kind of in a different way. I know that we've shored up our defences with Eric Bailly coming in, which is great, but I think City have done that even more so. I feel like City, when their attack wasn't working, they had more defensive problems than we did. And I think now, Pep Guardiola in previous seasons was drowning teams. He'd go and score a load of goals, create a load of chances, and teams just couldn't compete. And sometimes games would be over within half an hour. City would be 3-0 up and then they'd just be coasting and they'd just get goal after goal after goal. That didn't happen last season. Teams were starting to figure out what City were doing, and City started to lose games, draw games. They weren't bringing in as many points and they weren't looking as comfortable game to game. City, some people were arguing City was one of the best teams the Premier League had ever seen because they were getting crazy numbers. You look at them now and the recent form has kind of, written off that argument. People aren't really saying that team, they're not really speaking about that team anymore. There was no longevity in them tactics. He did that one season and then what's he done since? His first season wasn't great. All these different arguments. I think Pep's actually evolving as a manager, and I feel like Pep, instead of being this all-out attacking side now, City have the best defensive record in the Premier League now, which I think they might have had before, but for different reasons. I feel like their best form of defence in the past was attack. Now their best form of defence is defence now. They're being more solid at the back, and although they're not scoring goals, they're starting to. And they're probably in the best form they've been all season, just before the Manchester derby, which isn't great for us. You can say that the Chelsea game, Chelsea have been crap, which they have, but if you look at the performance as a team, they looked good, City, and they could have had more goals. They're looking more clinical and they're looking like they're finishing. So this is how I'd line us up. I'd have David De Gea in net. Again, I think he picks himself. Putting Henderson, the amount of pressure that would be on Henderson if you put him into this game would be insane. David De Gea goes in net. He's in insane form. I'd argue at the moment he's one of the best goalkeepers in the league. Maybe I'm a bit biased, but I just think he's been so important for us recently. On the back line, I go as standard: Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Eric Bailly, Maguire and Shaw. I feel like if we're playing 4 at the back, which we should, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think going forward he's improving. I feel like his positioning is not the best, but I feel like the coaches are aware of that, and they'll be getting the message across to him, letting him know that you need to work on your positioning, and I feel like he will do. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's a hard-working player, he'll get back to his best. Maguire and Bailly in the centre, they've been insane together. They're like 2 new players. I know Bailly we always thought Bailly had that in him, but Maguire at the minute with Bailly next to him looks like a different player. He's the best he's been for Manchester United, and he looks like a decent signing now that he's got a fast-paced centre-back next to him. If we're playing 4 at the back, I feel like Luke Shaw needs to be at left back. I'd say Luke Shaw does enough going forward. I feel like more importantly we need to stop the counters of City defensively, and I feel like Luke Shaw does that. I really rate Luke Shaw. I think he's a great player. That'd be my back lineup. Going into centre midfielder, the 2 holding midfielders I have to have, again, are Fred and McTominay. I feel like Fred and McTominay, you need to play these players in the big game. Their energy, Fred getting in, stopping the tackles, breaking up the play, keeping the ball, being a nuisance and running around. And then you have McTominay linking the defence to attack, his passion, he loves the Manchester derby. I feel like you need to play McTominay and Fred. They're the 2 players that you play when teams are going to come and attack you. And I know the last Manchester derby, it wasn't great. Both teams didn't look up to it, but I feel like we've gone up a level. I feel like both teams have gone up a level, and I feel like both teams will have the confidence to attack, which is why we need McTominay and Fred in the middle, solid pairing, and they're the best two players for me to play in the big games when other teams are going to be coming at us. Now, going forward to the three that I'd have behind the striker, I'd have Pogba, Bruno and Rashford. Pogba on the left, Bruno in the middle, Rashford on the right. I think Paul Pogba has started playing well again. I think Paul Pogba and Bruno switching in them positions looked really good last game against Villa. I feel like you carry on with the confidence that them two are getting as a pairing together. I feel like Bruno Fernandes, you have to play Bruno Fernandes in every single game. So, you know, he's our best player, and I think without him, we'd be in a much different position. Paul Pogba I feel like that's Paul Pogba's best position. I feel like if you were to take Paul Pogba out of the team, you'd be putting Rashford on the left and maybe Greenwood on the right. Greenwood doesn't look up to it. Although Rashford can't really shoot on the right, he's kind of grown into that position. He kind of cuts on his left and he's not looking as comfortable, but I still think he can cause problems. And with his pace, I think Rashford has to go in the team. I feel like Paul Pogba also likes the derby. I feel like Paul Pogba's fancies it against City. Sometimes when he's not been in form. You remember when we were losing 2-0 and Paul Pogba came back and won the game for us when we looked dead and buried. He literally carried us to a victory that game. I feel like Pogba has a lot to prove as well. I feel like if he wants to go in the summer, why not play him and just get the best out of him? If he's going to help us get more points in the league, if he's going to help us win a trophy, why not just stick him in the team, get the most out of him, and then just ship him off in the summer, get a decent fee for him, and replace him with somebody. And then up top, I think you have to play Martial. I think there's no other choice really, with Cavani being sort of banned at the minute. I think Martial likes a derby again. Him, Pogba, and I think McTominay, obviously Rashford as well. They all like the derbies. They've been here for a long time and they seem to sort of flourish in them games. I feel like Martial's got a lot to prove again. I spoke about this previously with Cavani being banned, and he looks good. I feel like the best thing you can do is play the same team that we played against Villa. We looked really good, we were in form, and I think Villa being in form at the moment is probably a similar sort of test to City. Maybe City's a little bit of a step up. I feel like if we finish a few more chances and we're a bit more clinical in this game, we can really give City a run for the money. I feel like we'll beat them. I feel like we can score. I feel like it's kind of inevitable that we will score. I think City, to win this game, have to outscore us, because I think we're going to have a lot of chances, and I don't think we're going to let them off like we let Villa off in our previous game against them. I feel like Aaron Wan-Bissaka loves a game against Sterling. I feel like maybe he has a point to prove, because he didn't have his best game last time we played City. Sterling got the better of him a couple of times, so I think Wan-Bissaka, you know, will have a point to prove, especially with a bit of criticism with his positioning. I feel like Wan-Bissaka will be really switched on and and I think he'll pocket Sterling. I think he'll do really well. I feel like Luke Shaw is more than capable enough to deal with whoever plays on the right hand side, whether it be Mahrez, whether it be Silva, whether it be Phil Foden. I feel like Shaw is going to be more than comfortable. I feel like if we stop City coming in on the wings with our two fullbacks, and I feel like McTominay and Fred are going to be really important stopping De Bruyne. I feel like if we stop De Bruyne, we win the game. I think not the key for us to win the game, because I think we can win the game even if De Bruyne has a good game. It doesn't matter too much. I feel like we can still beat City. I feel like we've got more than enough. I feel like we're more confident, we're better in form, and we're going to win the game 2-0, and that's my prediction. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with anything I've said down in the comments section, and don't forget to put your predicted score for the game. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.